Can you hear this in the background? Okay, cool. We're back. Fell Road, doing important business here today. We have Miss Ariel here helping me lay out the cabinetry. We have the plumbers starting next week. We have HVAC going on this week. By next week, they'll be over into this part of the house along with the plumbers. And one of the things I like to do earlier on in the project is get the cabinet design down on the ground in some form or fashion, so that either decisions can be made on cabinetry, or if decisions have already been made on cabinetry, the plumbers and the HVAC mechanical contractors can all come in and do their things a little bit more streamlined. I also like to go through and mark out on all the studs and everything where we're gonna need blocking from the framing contractor, so that he can send a guy out here real quick, bang it all out for us. We obviously spray the paint on there pretty liberally. We'll probably just throw like a 2x10, 2x12 leftover scrap material into this space. It's not gonna be 18 inches worth of blocking. What we like to do when we're putting the plans down on the ground is early on, you don't want to put too much detail in case some of the cabinets change. You don't want to have information on the ground that could potentially confuse someone. Too much information is a real thing. So because the plumbers are coming in, we mark out where the center of the sink is, which side of the sink the dishwasher is going to go on. We provide them with a set of cabinet plans to kind of reference while they're going around. And then we'll mark out where all the cabinets are going to end and where the fronts of the cabinets are going. Over here, we have an HVAC vent that's blowing air into this space. This is either going to need to get moved to somewhere more conducive, or we're going to need to do some sort of ductwork underneath the cabinetry. So it's really important that the duct is not going to damage the cabinetry, or a whole lot of modifications to the cabinets don't need to take place. Like ideally, your cabinet shop does all the fabrications exactly to how your site conditions are, so that way the installation team can just install. They're not here figuring things out on the fly. And again, we mark out the blocking on the top as well. We always pick the most opportune times to start filming. This happens every time. He's almost done. All right, we gotta be quick. The lawn's about to get mowed. We're out here, Bailey basement, movie theater going in. This is the second official day. We wrapped up the egress stairs earlier in the spring, and now we're starting the rest of the basement today. We've got the demo boys out here, and we're getting after it. All the drywall, studs, insulation, everything that's in the way of the rest of the progress is getting taken out today. Let's go. I have something to do with it. No, it's for you. Stay right there.
Like my little measuring tape.
A little measuring tape for a little person.
Perfect, thank you.
Are you bleeding? I'm standing in a closet on the second floor, and we recently took out the entire second floor of this room so that the room Gilmar is standing in is actually a 2-story family room now. In the last video, we captured what it looked like as we were getting ready to take the floor out, but now you can see, other than the fact that there's no sheathing on this side of the house, you can start to appreciate how much light is going to come through that rear window and these 5 side windows right here. So it's rare somebody takes square footage away from their house, but in this instance, I think this made so much sense, and I'm really getting excited about how this room's going to come together in the months to come. Last time you guys checked in with us, we were tearing the roof off of the second story of the back part of the house. And if you haven't watched previous videos, you're probably like, wow, why would you tear an entire second floor off of a building? Couldn't you have used that? And the answer is maybe, but this is the design we came up with and the design we're executing. The second floor on the original house, it just didn't really work. Previous owner put an addition on to suit their needs, and the new homeowners, it didn't suit their needs anymore, and we ended up reconfiguring the roof line to remove the space that just kind of was going to get wasted. You have to heat that space, you have to cool that space. Sometimes it's how big does a house really need to be? Everybody wants these huge, massive houses, but I'm starting to see a little bit more people conscious of, how much money they're spending versus how nice of a home they can get. If you've got 3,000 square feet on your house that you don't need, if you get rid of that 3,000 square feet, you're not putting siding on there, roofing, windows, carpet, flooring, trim, and you can reallocate that money to the rest of the house and get a much nicer house, easier on the budget, ultimately get a better looking house from the outside. Because when you add additions to the house, the way this home was added to over the years, like every 10 years you add a new layer to the house. After 30, 40 years, you kind of look back on it and you're like, this doesn't make sense anymore. And when you looked at the outside of this house from a lot of different angles, it just kind of was like the shapes and the massing of the overall home, it just wasn't really that appealing. The need for reconfiguring the inside of the house suited and matched up with the need to change what the outside of the house looked like. So we got rid of the second floor. We added an outdoor patio that would allow us to continue the roof in this kind of A-frame extended setup that we have here. The reason we added the patio was not only just to have living space out here, but because the room inside is octagonal on almost all the sides. Obviously the side that connects to the inside of the house is just part of the rest of the house, but all the sides made up an octagon, and putting a square roof over top of an octagon is almost impossible. So you had to create what was kind of like a fake square underneath the roof. So the way we figured out how to roof the octagon was extend this out, and if you look at it from above, it's just a big rectangle covering an octagon. We were able to keep the shape of the room, which was important to the customer, and I really think is really cool. It adds to the space. We'll probably end up putting like a pool room, a dartboard, billiards, something in that room, and getting lit up on all the sides with the natural light. It's just really going to make that space really pop. Thanks for checking in with us. Hit all the buttons, keep following along. Next time we see you guys, we'll be putting windows in. The rest of the house will hopefully be sheathed, and we're getting ready to put the roof and siding on.